fantasy sports is legal in India. So there have been 2-3 very sound and good judgments around this fantasy sports, and I should say thank God that we have recognized it. Yeah. And now it's the season of IPL. All you see is fantasy sports websites advertisement all over. ClickPay also launched on the same time. Yeah, and a lot of other companies are trying to launch them during in between this period. So there is this one Varun Gumbar's case, which brought into limelight about fantasy sports, and the court says no, if there is a game of, if it has skill, we will allow you. So if you see, I want to give you a view, if you can think when I speak about it. So when you go, say suppose you've logged in on Dream 11, okay, you will create a list of your players. How are you creating that list? You're creating it because you have seen them playing, right? You watching their performance maybe for years, or maybe you've just seen a couple of those matches and you've seen, so you're analyzing, you're strategizing. You might pick up a player whom you think has been, the black horse, and he's just sitting there, but you feel that no, in this he has a good record. This guy, if given a chance, will do great. Yeah. So when you are strategizing and analyzing and dissecting, and you might go and check on different websites of what their rankings are, how many matches have they played, how many fours and sixes that have they hit, all those run rates and whatever you call it. When you are seeing all the facts and factors and then picking up to form a team of yours, don't you think you're applying some skill? Or is it just by sheer chance? Or even if you have taken up some player which is just by sheer chance plays very well that day, however, doesn't skill overweight the chance factor? And on the basis of all of these criteria, more beautifully put in words, allow it to be a game of skill. Okay. Then in the Nagaland Act, if you see, you will find two lists where they have defined which are game of skills and which are game of skill. Fantasy sport has been defined in this act. This is one act where they have defined fantasy as virtual sports, fantasy league games, virtual team selection games. You will find that different definitions which will support fantasy, and then they have those a schedule supporting game of skill and game of chance, which is so clear. Yeah. So such laws make it more stronger. And fantasy is, of course, having a legal status. You have seen the way it is upscaling. Yeah. Next, please. Yeah, this is one of those judgments which you can definitely refer to. And I would also ask you to definitely read Varun Gumbar, Punjab and Haryana High Court. That is the base judgment for fantasy sports. And that is one of the most beautiful judgments. If you read that, it's sorted. Most recently, the Rajasthan High Court in Ravinder Singh Chaudhary versus Union of India held that fantasy sports user perform a role similar to that of a real-life team manager. This is very beautifully defined and requires substantial knowledge, strategy, skill, and adroitness to excel. That is what I spoke of almost in the example that I was giving. If you could view it, it will find its place in all these 4-5 terms. That it requires knowledge. You have to be like almost a team manager when you decide amongst who are your top 6 players going to be, and you are applying strategy. There is skill, and you are excelling. You have worked on it very hard. Yeah, let's move ahead, please. Lotteries. So lotteries have a legal sanction in India. Why I'm opening with these lines? So that you guys remember it forever. How does it have a sanction in India? By way that it has been made a state subject, and it can only be operated by the state authorities, the state government, or if the state government authorizes somebody. If it is not either of these 2 criteria, then it is a no. It has no legal sanction. So there cannot be any private lotteries. Okay. Again, while lotteries were allowed, its legality or status of being legal was, again, it was for the tax revenue that it generates and the massive amount sale that happens around lotteries. So that is why lotteries is allowed, but only on the basis of the state sanction. Yeah. Of course, there are a couple of states which do not allow. So that you will find, because India has so many states, so you will find that there are certain states who are not. Again, being a state subject, the central government has said that the states have the right. So if a state has announcing is announcing for a lottery, then it is valid. Otherwise, it's not valid. It has to come from the state.